Hey everybody, the Lawn Gnome is here, and welcome back to another Funko Pop update for the month of August. Now, I know that when I gave you guys my last update, I had mentioned that I was going to give you guys whatever was left over from San Diego Comic-Con and call it the Funko San Diego Comic-Con variants that I may have missed. Well, turns out that I really don't need to do that this time around, because San Diego Comic-Con was just that recent, so there really is no reason to say, this is what I've missed. And quite frankly, I have to say that there were a lot of very interesting ones that came out, and more importantly, there has also been a lot of news in regards to what is on the way for the rest of 2014. So I'm really excited to talk to you guys about that as well. I'm also going to add something new to this update segment, and hopefully you won't see it as often on a monthly basis, but I am really excited to discuss with you what I've found out and what is on the way from the wonderful world of Funko Pop. So, of course, before we get into the rest of San Diego Comic-Con and all the other new lines, let's, of course, go and see how my collection has been going. So I'm finally happy to say that my collection has expanded. I apologize for the sun glare. It is still very early and very sunny, but my brother-in-law, Teddy Jets, who has been featured in a couple of my Pop reviews, finally gave me an early birthday gift, and these are two Pops that I was really excited to have in my collection. They are the Dude, of course, and Walter from The Big Lebowski, and they are both played by the great Jeff Bridges and John Goodman. I can say so many things about the movie, which is right over here behind them, but I'm not going to because it's really about the Pops here. One thing that I will have to say is these are two Pops that I'm so happy were released because of the fact that these are not necessarily kid-oriented Pops. Funko makes Pop figures with serious fans of film, music, television, sports, so they have things like The Big Lebowski, which is a rated R movie for fans of these movies. These are two of the best that I've ever seen because it's just the amount of detail and effort that was put into these, and that also goes for the rest of the Big Lebowski line as well. But why am I not planning on getting the others? Well, that's just because of the fact that the Dude and Walter are the two characters that really had the most screen time, and they were pretty much what drove this movie. I mean, I've always said that John Goodman should have been given an Academy Award for his performance, but let's take a closer look at these guys. If we take a look at the Dude, here's a couple things that I love so much about this Pop. The sunglasses on him with the full goatee that looks very shaggy, and the same thing goes with the pattern on his hair. Looks very straggly and stuff like that, but if you take a look behind the glasses, you actually see a black Pop eye, so it's as if the Pop itself is wearing sunglasses and they didn't skip on the eyes. I also love the details on the White Russian that he's holding in his hand with the little ice cubes and the color of the beverage itself, but also the detail of the sandals, the detail of the plaid shorts, and of course the incredible paint job on the sweater. I mean, this is the most perfect part about this specific Pop. There's a little scuff on the back of his leg, as you can see over here, but I love what they did with this specific Pop just because of the fact that they put so much detail into things like the clothing, especially the sweater design. And when you take a look at Walter, I mean, he's not as stylized, because as you see once again, the Dude's got a hand in his pocket and stuff like that, and he's holding the beverage, but he looks pretty much like one of the regular Pops, just standing on his own, but he's also got the bowling ball bag in his hand, but also detail on the bowling shoes, his wristwatch, the pockets on the vest that he's wearing, and I also love the sunglasses because they're not as thick and dark as the Dude's. These are very light sunglasses because you were able to see John Goodman's eyes in the movie while he was wearing the sunglasses, but the style is spot on to what he wore in the movie. What I also am very impressed with the Big Lebowski line, because if you did see the movie, the Coen brothers use a lot of earth tones. Like, they're not as flashy as far as color scheme. These characters have a lot of tans, a lot of browns, a lot of olive, and I think that that's one of the main reasons why I like these characters so much. And I did also get another one. One of the few things that I have said many times is that they make excellent gifts for friends, so I got one of my very good friends, the Jesus, and I'm not taking him out of the box, but of course he's played by an unknown John Turturro at the time, back in 1998, but I love the style of this pop itself. I love the fact that he's holding the bowling ball, and I love the pattern on the face with the goatee, and I think one of the most interesting things is, if you want to talk about detail, besides the sweater on the dude here, if you take a good look here, and I'm sorry for the red light of the camera, but you've got the jewelry, the rings, and of course the nail polish covered pinky finger, just like it was in the movie with the bowling ball. So again, another great attempt. And if you want to collect the rest of these, you've got the dude, you've got Walter, you've got Maud, you've got the Jesus, and you've got Donnie. But again, these guys are the ones that really drove this movie, and that's why I wanted to specifically just get the dude and Walter. Will I get the others in time? I have a feeling that I will not. I mean, the only one that I would probably consider is maybe Donnie, but these two guys, Jeff Bridges and John Goodman, really were incredible in this movie. These are two amazing pop culture characters, and the fact that Funko turned them into Pops is a true thumbs up in my book. So there is a lot to talk about in regards to some additional specials that were announced before the con began. And the good thing is, there's been some interesting announcements made by a lot of retailers that do sell Funko Pops regularly, and some of them have announced that some of these San Diego Comic-Con Pops will be featured and be able to be purchased by the public at their stores. So if you want them, come and get them. So let's talk about the final groups of San Diego Comic-Con Pop specials. We pretty much have a hodgepodge of different things, and in this little picture here, you can get anything from flocked Pops. As you can see on the lower right, you have a flocked Lion-O from Thundercats, Ghost from Game of Thrones, and Rocket Raccoon from Guardians of the Galaxy. You could go for glow-in-the-darks. You can see in the upper right, right above Rocket, a glow-in-the-dark Walter White from Breaking Bad, and next to Lion-O, a glow-in-the-dark Mum-Ra from Thundercats. You can also go with other variant specials like Despicable Me, Minions. You can see the spray-painted purple ones, Carl and Dave. And then you can also see from Entertainment Earth, right in the middle of the Minions, a mustached Carl. You also have a special edition of Sloth from the Goonies in his Superman shirt. Quite surprised that he isn't the regular one, but the variant is pretty cool, and I'm sure that people would love that. Or you can get a beat-up Jesse from Breaking Bad, and apparently he seems to be the one that a lot of people would want to get in terms of variants. Do I want to get any of these? No, not really. I didn't even want the regular ones, but I can't deny that these variants are very clever and very well thought out. And of course, you also have some blood splatter variants. Two of them include the Pulp Fiction characters Vincent Vega and Jules. Another one is a blood splatter Billy. Now, I have no recollection when Billy became bloodied in Saw. Try and say that 3 times fast. I also don't understand why the blood splatter Billy is also glow in the dark. Explain that to me, because he never glowed, nor did he become bloodied. But I'm sure that people who are fans of the franchise would definitely want to pick up this variant. And a bloody-mouthed Sharknado, which again, the Sharknado original is extremely clever, and the bloody Sharknado pop is pretty awesome too. Again, great ideas, don't want to get them, but it is what it is, and that's that. And if there's one thing that blew me away in terms of San Diego Comic-Con specials, it's the fact that Frozen stands alone. We have some very interesting Frozen variants. We have the translucent Anna, the transforming Elsa, and for some strange reason, a glow-in-the-dark Olaf. I also know that Entertainment Earth has a glittery Olaf, which makes a lot more sense than a glow-in-the-dark Olaf. Not really planning on getting these specials. I know that these are going to be far too hard to come by because of the popularity of this film. The good thing is I did see the plain Olaf pop, and I like that he is a glossy finished pop, very shiny. Makes perfect sense considering that he's a snowman, and I'm really looking forward to picking him up. I have already pre-ordered him and Sven. And of course, as I had mentioned in a previous update, this is in fact the 75th anniversary of Batman, and of course, San Diego Comic-Con, Hot Topic, and Toy Tokyo will not disappoint. The Comic-Con exclusive Toy Tokyo Gold Batmobile Pop ride, including another funky-looking Batman, will be available alongside their special red Batmobile, which can be gotten in their retail on their website.
the White Lantern Batman, which will be featured as well at Comic-Con. Very surprised that they went with this other character as a White Lantern. It makes me wonder what the future of this franchise is going to have in terms of other lanterns. Will we see other heroes as lanterns in any kind of color? Will there actually be an original first White Lantern, which was Boston Brand, aka Deadman? But I'm not sure. I mean, I love the fact that they plan on doing this, but I also feel that they gotta stop recycling these old characters. 75th anniversary of Batman, okay, I get it, but what about these other DC heroes and villains that we're all asking for? And then, of course, Hot Topic has, and as you can see on the far right, the Earth 2 Batman. Looks pretty awesome, but again, we really want to see as Funko fans. I know that I'm not the only one. I've watched other people's videos who look at these things and review these pops. We are all excited for more characters, not just recycled old ones. Still want to give Funko props for doing all of these specials for the San Diego Comic-Con and all of these other specials, but please guys, give us some new stuff. So let's talk about the new stuff. I know that I had mentioned when I first gave you my first pop update that there was going to be a Kill Bill line. Really didn't plan on going over it again, but when I saw what the pops are actually going to look like as opposed to their illustrations, I had to show this to you guys. They look absolutely fantastic. It's a set of 5 for now. Who knows if there will be more. And I know I had no intentions of getting anything from the Pulp Fiction line or the Kill Bill line, but I have to say that Go-Go's pop looks so awesome. I love the detail on the weapon and the uniform that she wears in the movie. I seriously believe that Go-Go will be an added pop to my collection. As far as I have heard, this line is not coming out until the end of the year, somewhere between October and November, maybe even December, but I know that this is definitely a line that's going to be very popular amongst film fans, and I really am curious to see how these pops will look up close and if there will be others, because I would love to see a Veronica Green, I'd love to see an Ellie Driver, and a Bud. I mean, you gotta complete the series. You gotta include the rest of the cast when it comes to making a Kill Bill line. Now let's take a look at another interesting line that's coming out, the American Horror Story and American Horror Story Coven. I'm not a fan, I don't watch the show, but I know it has a huge cult following, so all of you who watch these shows, please give me a comment in the box and let me know which of these characters is interesting to you and which ones you might want to get, and what other characters you would like to see in this series. And another line that I'm very impressed to see that Funko is expanding on is the Thor film line. And they are adding a gold-helmeted Loki, a Lady Sif, an Odin, and a Heimdall. I think that Heimdall looks fantastic. I love the fact that they're using the different color eyes as opposed to the regular black. I like on Odin, you got the patch on his eye, and that's definitely going to go very well with your Marvel collection. I'm sure they're going to be bobbleheads, but what can you do? So it's nice to see that they are expanding upon this line as well. Another interesting new release is 3 characters from the new movie that's coming out in September, The Box Trolls. It was made by the same company that made Coraline and Paranorman. I'm very interested in seeing it, and I am really surprised that they actually did this line. But more interestingly, the fact that these 3 characters from the movie are not in the movie line, but they are in the animation line. And the coup de grace is the fact that they are numbers 119, 120, and 121. What does that mean? The animation line is only up to number 20 or 21 with Black Butler. So you go from that number all the way to 119. I don't get it. That's a major gap to fill. And I'm really curious to see how many other things are going to be added in that big gaping hole in the animation line. What I am happy to know about is that there will be another Hanna-Barbera character coming to fill in slot number 15. And it is the Hanna-Barbera legendary character, Huckleberry Hound. Ignore the Funko San Diego Comic-Con sticker on this picture that you see because that was an error before they officially announced that there will be some specials and it will be him in various colors. But this is actually going to be one that is going to be able to be purchased in retail, and it is so nice to know that they will continue to make Hanna-Barbera characters. He is a legendary animated figure, and I'm very curious to see what other Hanna-Barbera characters there will be, and what other animated characters will be added to the animation line. This is the one that I am probably the most excited for, and if there are what there will be, I have a feeling I will be getting a couple of these animation line characters from my collection. And of course, to cap it all off, sometimes the hardest thing to do, especially when it comes to these wonderful Funko Pops, is say goodbye. Right before San Diego Comic-Con and the month of August began, they announced that a bunch of Funko Pops will officially be retiring. Some of those include the entire Rocky series from the movie line, the Yo Gabba Gabba series from the television line, the Sanrio collection, except for Hello Kitty herself, the Michael Jackson collection, the Gangnam Style Pop, which is Psy, the entire Beatles Yellow Submarine collection, the entire Wizard of Oz collection, the NBA line, and most of the Disney series 1 through 5, and that is also including the Monsters University line. I may not be as a crazed collector as some of you guys out there, and I really do admire your collections, how big or how small they are, but if some of you guys have been meaning to get some of those that I had mentioned, there will also be a link provided below to where all of this information was uncovered, and go get them if you need them. If you want those Rocky Pops, if you want those Michael Jackson ones, go. Do whatever you can to get your hands on these Pops. The Disney ones as well.
So that's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and one of the few things that I am happy to say is that San Diego Comic-Con gave us the opportunity to hear from the head of Funko himself exactly what is on the way for 2015. There are so many amazing new lines that are going to be brought to us Funko Pop fans. So many, in fact, that I can't even name them from the top of my head, but you've got a couple of sets that I think we all were expecting, like Doctor Who and Battlestar Galactica, and maybe even Sesame Street, but then there were a couple that have been officially throwing me for a loop, like Beverly Hills Cop, Top Gun, the John Hughes film line, and one that I'm really excited for, The Fifth Element. And that's not even mentioning all of the current series that they have yet to even expand more. So I'm hoping that I will be able to discuss all of these great new lines in further detail as the months progress. This is all you're going to hear about them for now, because if I'm going to talk about these lines again, I want to show you guys some pictures. So I'll be watching, I'll be seeing what's being posted on the forums, what's being posted on Facebook and all the other social networks. Hopefully, before 2015 starts, there will be some awesome pictures to show you from all of these great new lines, and I think that there is a lot more on the way. Funko, I'm sorry for ever doubting you. Sounds like there's some great stuff on the way. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you soon. Happy hunting. Actions speak louder than words.